Okay, today we're going to go over this practice quiz, and it is 13-1, 13-2. Hopefully you've been doing your homework. This is the point 2, 3. So we're going to find just the three main trig values here. We're not going to go ahead and find them all. So we're just going to find three, which would be sine, cosine, and tangent. That's all you need to do on a quiz too. Plot this point. So it is x at 2, y at 3, which puts us up in this region here. So your theta is this guy right here. Okay? So this side is 2, this side is 3, which leads us to find that hypotenuse. This is a right angle here. So that'd be 2 squared plus 3 squared would be 9, square root of that. So your hypotenuse is the square root of 13 using the Pythagorean theorem. So your theta is right here. So your sine of that theta is your opposite over your hypotenuse. Of course, this would be the adjacent. We'll get to that in a second. So your sine is going to be 3 over the square root of 13. Now we will rationalize that. So we're going to end up with 3 square roots of 13 over 13 as your sine. Okay? Your cosine is going to be 2 over the square root of 13. Again, we will rationalize square root of 13, and you're going to end up with 2 square roots of 13 over 13. And then finally, your tangent of that angle, your tangent is going to be opposite over adjacent, which would be 3 over 2. So there's number 1. Sine, cosine, and tangent is all I'm going to ask you to do. And make sure you rationalize. Okay, moving on to number 2 now. And that is find the reference angle. So we're going to draw a circle. And we're going to go with 0 here, so 90 up here. And this would be 180, of course. So that reference angle is going to come over. It's going to stop right around here. This is 142 degrees. So we're looking at the quickest way back to the x-axis right here. So what is the difference between 142 and 180? And the reference angle here is 38 degrees, which would be this angle, 38 degrees. Coterminal, find your angles that are coterminal here. So we want one positive and one negative to negative 150. So we will plus 360 to that. So if we do, we're going to get a 210 degree angle, coterminal going all the way around. And if we minus 360, we're going to get a negative 510. That would be coterminal there. All right. Moving on to number 4. And that is sine, cosine, and tangent of this guy right here. So your A is 3, your B is 4, and your C is 5. Here's your theta. So your opposite is over here. Your adjacent is here. Your hypotenuse is here. So sine, whoops, make that sign there, Mr. Grove. of your angle, your theta, your sine of your theta is 4/5. Your cosine of that theta is 3/5. And your tangent of that guy is 4/3. Draw an angle in standard position now. Okay, so we'll draw an angle with 135 degree in standard position. So again, we're going to start with our X and Y axes. It always starts on the initial side, which is this right here. And we're in standard position, which would be right over here. And that would be 135 degree angle. And that's all you need to do for that particular problem. Sometimes you might overthink that one, but that is it. So there's 1 through 5. Moving on now to number 6. Find the values of the 6 trig functions. Again, we're going to do just 3 of these. Sine, cosine, tangent, not all 6. So again, we're going to do very similar to the very first problem today. We do need to find the hypotenuse a little bit here. So side A is 10. Side B, let's make that a true 10 there. Whoops. Getting some movement. 10. Side B is 5, so we do need to find that hypotenuse. That hypotenuse is going to be square root of 75. So actually square root of 125. So that is going to be 5 square roots of 5. So that would be 10 squared, and 5 squared would be 125. And that's what you're looking at there. So now we got to find the 6 trig values, but we're just going to find the sine, cosine, and tangent. Here's your theta again right down here. So we're looking at your sine of that angle is going to be your opposite over your hypotenuse, which would be 5/5 square roots of 5. Opposite over hypotenuse. The 5s can cancel. You're left with 1 over the square root of 5. Now we'll rationalize, and we have the square root of 5/5. Cosine is going to be 10 over 5 square roots of 5. That'll simplify to 2 over the square root of 5. Then we'll rationalize. And we got 2 square roots of 5/5. And finally then, your tangent, okay? Your tangent of that theta is going to be 5/10, which simplifies to just 1/2. And there you have down through that. Couple of application problems now. Got to draw the right thing out here. We have a surveyor whose eye level is 10 feet above the ground to determine the angle elevation at the top of the office is 35. So we got a guy standing, and there's a good looking guy right there. So remember, this is 10 feet. We'll need to add that to it. We do have an angle here of 35.7 degrees. And if the surveyor is standing 45 feet from the base, so this is 45 feet here. And what is the height of the building? So we're going to try to find the height of this building, which is this distance right here. Then we're going to have to add 10. So this would be the angle down here. This would be the opposite. And we have the adjacent. So that's the tangent function. So we're going to have to say the tangent of the angle, which is 35.7, is equal to the opposite. We'll say that's x, because we don't know it, over our adjacent, which is 45. So now you're going to need your calculator. Make sure you're in degree mode. So you need to say the tangent of 35 times 4.5. And you should get, for this height right here, around 32.33 feet. Remember, though, we need to add this 10 to it. So your final answer is 42.33 feet. So we had to add that 10 because he's standing up there. Next one is takeoff of an airplane. So it climbs, very similar. So our airplane, I like to draw out a little right triangle here. So we have a 15-degree angle here. It climbs to an altitude of 8,000 feet. And at what point it's a land distance. So we're talking about land distance here. So that would be this bottom part right here. So this is the opposite again. This is your adjacent. So we are looking at the tangent function. So the tangent of our angle, 15 degrees, is equal to the opposite, which is 8,000 over we don't know x. Now it's a little different here. We're going to multiply by x, but really what you're going to end up being is x is equal to 8,000 divided by the tangent of 15 degrees. Again, make sure you are in degree mode here to get the proper answer, okay? And you can check the key, but it's around 29,000. Whoops. Yeah, it's around 29,000 and some change, 800 or so feet. So give or take a couple of feet there. So watch those. I think you'll be fine there. Getting close to the end now. We have our special rights. And this is the 30, 60, 90. You should remember this from geometry from last year. So remember, this is always going to be 2x. This side is always x. This side is x square roots of 3. So our first problem, we'll do that one in green here, is AB. So AB is 10. So this distance is 10. So we're going to take 2x, set it equal to 10, and solve. So divide by 2. So x is 5. So that means BC is only x, so BC is 5, and AC is going to be 5 square roots of 3. So in these problems, plug in the side that you have to the x ratio, solve. The next one's going to be a little trickier. We'll do him in blue. And that's because AC, so A to C is 2 square roots of 2. So x is equal to AC is, x square roots of 3. Let me fix that. X square roots of 3 is equal to, that's the side, is equal to AC, which is 2 square roots of 2. Now this one's a lot harder. The other one we just divided by 2 and got 5. Here we're going to divide by square root of 3. And then on top of that, we're going to need to rationalize by multiplying both top and bottom by square root of 3. So we're going to end up with 2 square roots of 6 over 3. Now that is what x is equal to. Now notice BC. BC is x. So this answer is going to be 2 square roots of 6 over 3. But AB is 2 times that. So 2 times 2, of course, would be 4 square roots of 6 over 3. Now that was a little trickier. So be careful there and see what you can do with that. The last one, number 11 here, and we're getting close to the end. You guys, I hope. It is AC. Whoops. You got a little too. AC again. And I made this one hard also. 5 square roots of 5 is what x square roots of 3 is equal to. I'm going to have to divide by the square root of 3. I'm going to have to rationalize here then. I'm going to have 5 square roots of 5 over the square root of 3. Again, I'm just trying to solve for x. Multiply by the square root of 3. 5 square roots of 15 over 3. So that is what your x is equal to. So BC is whatever x is. So that's going to be 5 square roots of 15 over 3. AB is going to be twice that, which would be 10 square roots of 15 over 3. So there's your 30, 60, 90. And all we have left is our 45. Now, again, you should remember some of this from geometry. I'm hoping you do anyways. So, lost my smart board there. Let me get that sucker back if I can. All right. All right, so the ratios of this triangle are a little different, of course, and they are x, x, and x square roots of 2. So my first problem is telling you that x to y is 12. So if x to y is 12, that means y to z is 12, but x to z is just going to be 12 square roots of 2. X to z this time is going to be 14. So here we're going to have to take x square roots of 2, set it equal to 14, and solve for x. Divide by square root of 2. Rationalize. You're going to have 14 square roots of 2 over 2. And 14 and 2 simplified to 7 square roots of 2. So you solve for x. It is 7 square roots of 2. And so x to y is just x. So that is 7 square roots of 2. Don't get confused with that x and the x we're solving for there. They are a little different. The last one we'll do in green down here. And that is, again, y to z is 5 square roots of 5. So this one is already solved for x. X is 5 square roots of 5. So 5 square roots of 5 is what our x is equal to. So we're just going to plug that in right there. So it's going to be 5 square roots of 5 is what x times the square root of 2, which would give me my final answer down here of 5 square roots of 10 for our last guy down there, number 14, 5 square roots of 10. I'll be on Canvas today. Good luck and hang in there, folks.